call to order the meeting of the Haverford Township Zoning Hearing Board of Thursday, October 16th, 2025. Present at the front table to my far left is Jessica Battaglia, voting member,
Evening.
and McGargy, a voting member.
Hello.
Ernie Angelos, our solicitor.
Good evening.
Bill Rhodes, a voting member. Good evening. Jesse Poynton, a voting member. Jonathan Mount, Haverford Township zoning officer. We have no continued cases and 4 or 5 new ones tonight, but before we begin, Billy, would you please lead us in the
Please rise if you can and repeat after me. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're going to go out of order from the agenda, and therefore the first case will be that which is listed as number 2. Case Z25-36, Patrick Brennan, owner of 1126 Garfield Avenue, Havertown, PA, DC parcel number 2201004350, who seeks a variance from section 182208C2F1 to permit a 6-foot side yard where 12-foot is required for the construction of a new deck. Property is zone R6 and located in the first ward. Is that the first ward? What's the second ward? Who's here for this one?
I am.
Come on up. Patrick, I presume.
I am.
Okay, I need to swear you in, Patrick. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right. Now, you submitted a packet. You have a packet.
Yeah, do I need to provide each of you a copy of the packet?
Yeah, I'm going to walk you through it real quick. So the township provides us with copies of what you submit with your application. But in
Okay.
order for anything that's attached to your application to be considered, in this case, it needs to be marked, identified, and moved into the record as an exhibit. So our solicitor is frantically going through the attachments to your application, and I think Ernie's going to help walk you through what you may want to mark as an exhibit. So,
If you want to just come up, I just want to.
yeah, come on.
Sure.
Is there anything else that you had? Some additional stuff? Okay.
Yeah, an updated
So,
both parents proposed.
We'll go off the record, Arlene.
That's the parent.
Jeff, we'll stay lit up, but we're off the record. All right, we'll go back on A, please. So, Patrick, Ernie helped you go through your exhibits, and you've chosen what exhibits you want marked and moved into the record, right?
Correct.
Okay, Ernie, you want to
And
run through them? real quick?
Sure, just to help out. So Exhibit A1 is a copy of the deed of the property, evidencing the applicant is the owner. A2 is the impervious coverage calculation. A3 is the current site plan for the subject property. A4 is the proposed site plan for the subject property. A5 consists of 5 photos from various angles and locations of the subject property. And then finally, A6 is a series of 5 photos of surrounding or adjacent properties.
Is that correct, Patrick?
That is correct.
Okay. So, please tell us a little bit about what you would like to do and why.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for the time this evening. My family and I own the property on 1126 Garfield Avenue, which is in zoning district R6. It's a single-family, semi-detached twin. The lot size is 25 foot by 150 foot. If you, I'm going to scan to Exhibit A5. There are some photos of the property there. There's a property there of the rear of the home, which is where we are seeking the variance for this evening. The rear of the home has an existing mudroom, which is in disrepair, used for storage, leaky roof, dilapidated floors. So we are looking to remove that mudroom, no longer of any use. This home has a galley-style kitchen and a dining room in the rear of the house. So for enhanced quality of living, we would like to replace that mudroom with a deck. The side yard setback per the R6 zoning is a 12-foot minimum. If you refer to the current site plan, the home, the edge of the home is within 6 feet of the property line, which is the center of the footpath that splits my home and the adjacent property to the left, address 1128 Garfield. So the reason for the request for the variance is the narrowness of the lot does not allow for any real proper use of the rear of the home. 12-foot min yard setback, in essence, halves the property. We're just looking to put a deck on the rear of the house that extends from one side of the home to the other. Exhibit A6, there are adjacent properties all on our side of the Garfield Avenue, all with rear decks, all that are within the 12-foot min setback. So my opinion, it would be no detriment nor any significant change to the character of the neighborhood. In fact, we would just be looking to match the current character of the block with the addition of the deck and getting the variance on the yard setback.
Okay. Question? Jess?
So, if I'm understanding you correctly, Exhibit A6 is the photos of adjacent properties that have a similar to what you're proposing to do, is that correct?
That is correct, yeah. The first photo in Exhibit A6 is the property adjacent to us across the footpath, 1128 Garfield, so that property sits to the west of us.
So sorry, on that, so in the photo, your property's to the right?
That's correct.
Okay,
Yeah, that's our property to the right there.
okay, thank you.
And if you notice, there's a downward slope on our property from front to rear. So most the decks off the first floor on the front of the building end up being above ground there, second floor decks in the rear of the building. Second photo in Exhibit A6 is the property that I'm attached to. We share a common wall with. That's 1124 Garfield, similar deck with stairs down to the footpath.
Would you, if we were to grant the variance, would you accept a condition that you not enclose underneath the deck? And would you accept a condition that you would not cover the deck with a roof.
Yes.
What utilities would you have planned for the deck? Would you be okay with only electric?
Only electric.
Okay.
Yeah, for outlet, some sconces.
Right. Understood. And then it looked as though from going to Exhibit A3, which is that's the current plan. A4, yes, in the proposed plan, it appears that you're showing a set of stairs.
Yes.
That would be so we're talking about a 6-foot setback. The stairs, though, would be closer to the property line, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so would that be is it fair to say they'd be about 3 feet wide?
That's correct.
Okay. The height is, I guess, depicted would be to match your neighbors.
1128,
Yeah.
correct.
And of similar nature, character, materials, railing, et cetera.
Yep.
Okay.
Composite decking.
I don't have any other questions.
Jessica?
Just want to confirm that the edge of your new deck will align with the edge of your house and it won't stick out any further in the side yard.
Correct.
Okay, I have no other questions.
Ed?
Yeah, so the original, this was hard to understand, but, so now you've taken this plan off the table. The sketch is not accurately depicted, I guess, and then this is your actual proposal that you submitted here tonight. Did we give it what was the number of that?
A4.
A4. You know the distance between the rear of your new deck and the garage?
24 feet?
Okay, the other question I had, 24 feet between the front of your garage and the rear of your deck and home. You have a longer, narrow lot.
Is that a question?
Yeah, I'm just defining.
Okay.
The other thing is, the property line now, on your old plan, it didn't show property, but this one, your property, is that half the alleyway, or is, we didn't?
No, it's to the end of the alleyway. So if you cross the alley there in the back, our property line ends on the southern side of the alley.
So is that alley not a common easement between other houses, or?
It is. That alley runs along the rear of our properties, but we each own a portion of that alley.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So we don't, there wasn't a deed, so we couldn't read it, but, so you're thinking that the whole entire alley is on your property?
I believe.
Okay. No other question.
Billy?
Yeah, so just to put, I think this kind of confirms also what Jessica was saying. So the proposed deck in A4 now, which you've depicted as 18 by 18, but it's not really a square,
That's correct.
that if you're looking at A4, the left edge of the deck where the staircase is, that edge of that deck will stay in line with the house and in line with the existing front porch?
Yes.
So the original application that you submitted that showed it extending beyond the edge of the house, that's off the table now.
When you say the original
A3.
A3,
Now this, which was in your application.
okay, that is off the table.
Okay.
However, there will be stairs that go
Oh, yeah, I
beyond the
got
edge of
it.
the home.
I understand the stairs, right?
Yeah.
And so even though the stairs are 3 feet wide, obviously this really isn't to scale, so the stairs will actually stick halfway into that 6-foot wide setback.
You're correct.
Understood, okay.
Into that rear garden there.
Yep. And how high is your garage? Do you know, is it a 2-story, 1.5-story?
It's 1.5.
So
There's an A-frame for storage up there, an attic.
if you had a fire in the back of your house, you would expect the fire trucks to address that by going down the alley and then shooting over your garage water?
Great question. I have a parking lot directly behind my property for Trinity Lutheran Church, so they
So
could
they could get
perhaps-
there.
They could get there through that parking lot on Trinity Lutheran. Yeah, the other properties, they'd have to come down the alley.
Yeah. Okay. No other questions, thank you.
Okay,
Right, Patrick, if your application were approved, would you agree not to enclose the deck underneath?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no roof
Yes.
and no enclosure underneath.
All right. Any other questions? Jess?
No other questions.
Jessica?
No question.
Ed?
Can we revise this plan because it's kind of confusing? You have this mudroom on A4 that you're going to take out completely, but it doesn't say that. And then there's a little square that looks like it's part of the house, but that's actually going to be part of the deck.
Ed, are you looking at?
No,
Yeah, so what are we
so
talking?
that, if you refer to photo in A5 that shows the rear of the house with the mudroom, the blue, that abutment there, that is a pantry in my kitchen. That's going to remain. So that pantry's not getting removed. It's just the blue.
Okay, but I didn't catch exactly which one of these is A5 on the photographs. I'm trying to find which is the rear of your house, the other.
Can I approach to help him?
I'll get it.
Oh, blue house.
So that portion of the rear that's in stucco will remain. That's necessary for kitchen storage.
This one, there we go.
Yeah,
So even that pantry you refer to now doesn't extend all the way to your neighbor's property,
that's correct.
but it shows it on your drawing that it does. So that's what I'm talking about, I need the plan to reflect it. So what is it different? It doesn't even label pantry, but it's a pantry and it doesn't go all the way to the property line. The pantry's,
It's 18, and I believe it's, no, it does not go all the way to the property line on the common wall.
okay, so there's a window there, so that window is still on your property, so the end of your pantry now is a little square with the size of that, but it does not go all the way to the property line.
That's correct.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Billy?
I don't have any questions.
All right. Patrick, anything else you'd like to add?
No, that's it.
Right. With that, I'll ask if there's anyone present that received certified mail that wishes to testify, anyone that received regular mail, any other residents of Haverford Township? All right, we'll close the record on this case, and the decision will be rendered at our next regularly scheduled meeting on,
Is it November?
November 6th?
if we're not able to do it tonight, which we most likely will not be. A decision would be at our next regularly scheduled meeting on November 6th.
Okay,
That's it.
thank you.
You're welcome. Sure. And this is the other one that he's doing. The first one. All right. Next case will be Z 25-37, John Wolfington, Wolfington Companies, owner of record of 701 Preston Avenue, Havertown, PA, DC parcel number 22050085100. Seek variances from section 182-208C1D to allow 41.4% building coverage where 40% is permitted. Section 182-208C1E1 to allow a 10-foot, 0-inch front yard setback where 20 feet is required. Section 182-208C1F1 to allow a 4-foot side yard setback where a minimum of 7 foot is required. Section 182-208C1G to allow a 4-foot, 0-inch rear yard where a minimum of 25 foot is required. Property is zoned R6 and located in the 5th Ward. Which one? Goody. We'll straighten it out on the record. All right, ready?
Yes, good
Who's
evening,
the
everyone.
presenter?
John
You're going to present it
Wolfington.
yourself?
He's the owner, he'll start it.
All right, please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And your full name and the capacity in which you appear tonight, please?
John Wolfington, capacity of developer for the property at 701 Preston Avenue, Bryn Mawr,
What's your
PA.
address, John?
My address is 1101 Robin Road, Gladwin, Pennsylvania, 19035.
And the reason I asked the capacity is because we have the case listed as John Wolfington, Wolfington Company's owner of record, and has the deed, title deed.
He has something separate. Are you under agreement of sale to purchase it?
We're under agreement of sale with the deposit fully executed, yes.
No, they're equitable owners,
We're equitable.
based on the.
The
yeah,
company
the
or you
company-
individually,
The
John?
buyer is Wolfington Company or nominee. What is your position in the company?
Owner of the company.
Okay. So you heard my recitation in the last case about exhibits. So you have several items attached to your application that you submitted to the township. I don't know if you want all, some, or some of them submitted to the board as exhibits to become part of your case, or you may have additional exhibits. Tom will know this procedure.
Yeah.
So
I brought Tom with me. I don't know if we have additional. I don't think we do.
There's no additional.
So, let's do this. There is a deed. We'll make that exhibit A1. Make exhibit A2, the agreement of sale evidencing the equitable ownership and standing to be here and file the application. And then exhibit A3, impervious coverage calculations. And then I believe there are 2 plans,
Yes,
Very
I think
more than that.
existing and proposed.
but that's it. There's the plan. So. Which one's the existing? So
It's,
we'll make, yeah. So we'll make, or exhibit A4 would be the existing, and then A5 would be the proposed.
that maybe.
Any other exhibits?
No, that's it.
So, Tom, are you going to present the case, basically?
Yes, I can.
I'll swear you then as well. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And your full name, the capacity in which you appear?
Thomas Wiedemann, architect.
All right, so why don't you tell us a little bit about why these variances are, and what they are? You know the drill.
Okay, yep. Well, we can start out with, we'll just go right down the zoning chart. The lot is severely undersized. 4,000 is required, yet this existing lot's only 1,825.
Oh, great,
4,000's required,
100%.
and what is it?
1,825 or 75. So it's less than half. The existing house is in very bad shape. It's been vacant for at least 2 years. And the width needs a variance. The existing is just it's thinner than what's allowed by the zoning code. Depth, it meets. Building coverage does not meet. We are able to meet the impervious and the height. Front, 20 is required, and we're at 10. That does not meet it. Sides, the existing house did not meet it, and the new house will not meet it. And
You're gonna eventually walk us through why each one of these that you're making worse, why you need to do so?
yes. Yeah. Okay, and then the rear, it's severely under. The existing's at 2'6.5", but we bumped it to a 4-foot backyard. And we've added a off-street parking. There wasn't one previously. It would appear that somewhere along the line, someone must have sold the back of this lot, or maybe it was just always that size, but it's about half the size of what the rest of the lots are on that street. And right behind it is a driveway and parking and garages.
Is there a house on what you think used to be the backyard?
No, it's the backyard of the houses on Haverford there. And this is right next to the twin that was recently built on Preston there. So we did the best we could to keep the existing footprint. And there were a few spots where it was just a little bit too small, and we had to go a little bit larger just to make a house that would actually sell. In the back, we were able to give a little bit more of a backyard. But we believe we've made it as small as we could for that. And we've gone up 3 stories to make it work.
Tell me when you're done, Tom.
Okay, yeah, any questions?
All right, Billy?
So, confronted with this obviously undersized lot, you still think the best idea is to put a 4-bedroom, 3.5-bath house on that lot?
Yeah, that's what the buyer wanted, or the owner wanted. It's, yeah.
The buyer gonna come up and testify about his opportunities to develop a smaller house on that lot and the difficulties that he would encounter?
Yeah.
He's already spoken.
We were looking at the market rate homes in that market, the new construction homes. We're still undersized from the current houses being built on that street. But the current house on this non-conforming lot is it's not even the size of an apartment. It's so dilapidated that you can't fix it. And the reason we tried to keep the footprint down as much as possible, so we were gonna go to 3 stories and just make it a marketable house to have, enough room for a family with children to be able to live in the house. At least 3, we wanted to try to go for 4 bedrooms so we could compete with the market rate houses being built. There's a lot of houses being built there right now, on that street and on the side street. And we just want to be able to make sure that we are a competitive product with the rest of the market.
And are those other houses that you surveyed on the street on any similar lots to this, or is this unique, this lot compared to those other ones that you're looking at as comparisons?
It's unique because it's a much smaller lot than the other houses. The other houses are bigger. They go back much further. They have a lot of depth to them. I think our widths are close to the same. So our house will be we'll have less square footage. We will be 3 stories, but will be a single-family home. It's an eyesore right now. It's a complete mess. So it will look and feel like every other new construction house on that street and the side street. So, there's a lot going on in Preston Avenue right now. Several houses are being constructed. So, we just wanted to stay within the same, we won't be as big as they are, but, we feel that the bedroom and the bathrooms and the 3 stories are required, and the footprint's so small of the existing house.
Required by what?
But by us to be competitive, sorry.
So you decided to buy a small lot, which theory was cheaper to acquire. You're gonna put a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath house on there, in order to meet that market. But have you ever tested a 3-bedroom, 2-bath market or a smaller house market? Or is that, maybe that's not your business, I don't know.
We did not really test it. I did test it by talking to the brokers in the market, who told me that, to be competitive in this market, you should have a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath house, because that's what's being built and that's what's selling. So I did test it by talking to real estate brokers.
And so so you're really looking at like a young family market? I mean, you didn't contemplate people who are downsizing from larger houses and might want a smaller house or anything like that?
Yeah, I think we could make it smaller. I don't know. I don't think it would affect the footprint that we're trying to get the variance on. It would just say we would go to its 2-story unit from a 3-story unit. So I think we still need the width and the depth that we have now, that we're asking for. But yeah, I think if we had to make it smaller, we would just be chopping a floor off.
But you'd still be in here asking for the same variances but you're not in need of a height variance, right?
No.
So if you could equally sell a house that's smaller as a 3-story house, then where's the hardship for you to get all these variances that you're asking for?
Well, the current footprint doesn't even comply.
I got it.
So it's not complying. So the hardship is the footprint. It's the size, it's the width and the size to make that work and livable and marketable. So the hardship is Tom tried to minimize it as much as possible. We're just trying to, even, you're gonna have a kitchen, you're gonna have a living room and a place to eat your breakfast or your dinner, and that's the only room you have, even with the new footprint, and a staircase.
So a 3-story house that were slightly narrower or shallower is not marketable. I think you just said you need it to be marketable. So, and that there's no market for a smaller house like that. Is that your testimony, and is that based on your professional knowledge?
Yes, that's what we're saying. Correct. We feel the footprint is very narrow and shallow. And, the way we designed it, we're looking at a kitchen, a living room, and a staircase with our existing footprint. We're not getting much more than that out of it.
And these bedrooms, 2 of them, these back bedrooms, they're very small. You're talking a single bed. They're for kids. Possibly someone could use that as an office, one of them. And, there really isn't even a master suite. It's very small for a master suite. The only reason it would be a master suite is it's got a bathroom attached to it.
And
So,
it's listed as M suite, I guess.
yeah. And you know, we did discuss early on having the third floor as the master and 2 bedrooms and a bathroom on the second floor, but it worked better to just to have equal room sizes, you know, 2 small and 2 medium. But, you know, and I do think, you know, we want to keep it 3-story just to stack it, so that we're not taking more of the site up.
Yeah, I think you'd almost have to, right? Because otherwise you'd be
Yeah.
asking for variances when you had the ability to go up. At least you're going up.
Yeah.
Question is, this is a small lot and you are building too much house on this lot for the size of the lot, which is gonna, you know, feel different than other homes, which are comparable from the improvement, but on much bigger lots.
Correct. And I think the big difference is the depth, right?
Yeah, there's no backyard, that's the problem. And you can't have an actual house there and have the.
Which
any of those.
begs the question about selling this to young people, young families with kids. There's no backyard, so the kids will be playing on the front yard. Is that really a good marketing strategy? I don't know, you're in the business, but it seems to me this house may have some drawbacks as designed for the market that you think you're gonna hit. And it may be that this lot calls for something that doesn't require as many variances.
Well, the one question in the rear yard, that it was like 2 feet, we brought it back to 4. It's commercial garages beyond that, and it's all parking, and there's a commercial building next to our house. So if you're from the street view, if you look to the right, it's commercial buildings. It's parking in the back of to the side of the back of our yard, and there's commercial, like someone built like 6 garages in a row. You know, they're all attached. I don't know if they rent them out or what they do with them, but not affecting, and to our left there's 2 twins that were just built, yeah.
Yeah, and they have similar width and side setbacks.
From the front street, I think, you drove down that street and this house was built, I don't think you'd say, this is really out of whack. You know, I think it would look just like the other homes built.
Yeah, and then there is a little bit of yard on the one side.
Yeah.
And at the end of the block, it's a very big park, so it is actually a pretty kid-friendly area. And you're probably a block and a half from Haverford College there.
All right, I don't have any more questions for now, thanks.
Jess?
While we're talking about kind of the character of the neighborhood, do you have a sense of what the average setback is of the houses on Preston? So the ones that have been testified to that were just built, 703 and 705, are shown as right at the 20-foot. Have you done a study of what the average is along Preston of setback? Because we're talking about a proposed front setback of 10 feet. Have you looked at that? Have you done that calculation?
We haven't done a calculation on that, but a lot of them are at 20, but there are a few that are closer to 10. So it's
How close to this property?
probably 3 or 4 houses up.
I had 2 other concerns, like, one, Tom, did you check, and I haven't, I don't have the code in front of me. Have you, with a 4-foot setback, have you checked your allowable window area for being that close to the property line? For both side and rear?
Yeah, we've started looking into that. It's, yeah.
I'd want to make sure that, this is even buildable by building code, right? You wouldn't want to end up with windows that
Yep.
would also be an issue. And then the only other concern I have is just as far as when you go to sell this, if we were to grant the variances and you were marketing this, you would also, people might want to come back and say, well, I want to build a deck. I want to do other improvements. And then they would need to really understand that they would have to come back here and they'd be further asking for variances. And I just want to make sure that that's clear. And I just want to get that on the record that, we see that a lot with these new houses that get built way out to even the new houses on larger lots that are, they build them out to every line and then people want to immediately improve them with the deck or some other improvement. And they don't know that they can't. So I just kind of wanted to just bring that up. I don't know if you have any response to that, because I you know, those kind of things people look for. I think you're showing in the proposed plan that maybe there's a sunroom on the front, but I just, you know, understand people like to add decks and patios and things like that. So I don't know if that has gone into any of your planning.
There's absolutely, because of its size of the lot, even if they wanted to, there's no room to put one.
Right.
And we would make that very clear, that they wouldn't have that option. They'd have the sunroom up front.
Right. Okay. And then as far as, I don't know, character, it looks like the front elevation, I know it's just it's a concept, but I assume it would be kind of similar in character to the recent new constructions on the area?
Yeah, that's,
I don't have any other questions.
Jessica?
I just want to go back to Jesse's question about the average front yard. You testified that a couple houses on the street are closer, but I would want to see actual measurements of the average front yard, since it was testified that this house will look like all of the other neighboring houses on the street in relation to the road, and bringing it 10 feet doesn't feel like it's going to look the same as 20 feet. So I would want to see if there are other houses that are 10 feet from the road and how far from this property they are.
all right, yeah, we can go out and measure that.
I don't have any other questions.
Ed?
Okay, how long did you say it's been vacant property?
I was told at least 2 years, 2022, so.
2 years. Have you talked to the neighboring properties about their opinions of your proposal?
We have talked to Brian Terry at the Twin. He knows about it. I don't know if you've talked to the houses on Haverford, but probably not.
Well, that's something,
But they're not going any closer on that side.
well, I know, I'm just trying to think what you got a feel for, because they would, the testimony that the neighbors, you know, are really concerned about having a vacant house on their property for more than 2 years should be a concern. Okay, let me look at, there's a tiny rectangle here, and I'm thinking that's the actual, if you were in code compliant, be the building size. Can you see what I'm talking about?
What's, on the plan?
Yeah, I don't remember. How big, if you were compliant with everything, how large would that lot be? It looked like that triangle, but you showed 25 feet coming up to that triangle, and you show the side yard setback coming up to that triangle, and that triangle is minuscule, so.
What's that?
Just if you were code compliant, it would only be 5 feet deep.
Go ahead.
The house would be
Get that on
5 feet
record.
deep.
What's the-
5 feet deep.
The lot, in your estimate, what would the size of the buildable area be if everything was compliant? 5 foot by what?
Let's see how far over we are. A 5 by 18.
So yeah, there's definitely a hardship issue there. You could not build a house on this property to be compliant. The hardship also was the fact that it's half the, somehow, somewhere, someone was allowed to sell off the back part of that lot, so it couldn't be built like your neighbor. And I'm assuming at 703 Preston and 705 Preston, their houses are twins that are, I don't know what that black line shows, that their house goes way back, goes long and narrow.
Yeah, it goes back to an alley, which behind this subject property, it's all garages that kind of go right back to the alley. Paving in there.
Do you have an estimated age of the existing structure?
No, I would say probably 1940.
I have no other questions.
All right, anything else? Jess? Billy?
No.
Jessica?
No.
I have no questions. Is that it, Tom?
Yep, that's it.
All right. John, anything else you want to add?
No, just thank you. Appreciate your.
You're gonna
Looking at
come
it.
back with the median setback calculation?
Yeah, we'll look at both sides of the road.
Right now, though, you want to have your exhibits A1 through A5
Admitted.
admitted.
Yep.
All right, third minute. And we may as well go through resident participation. We'll hold the record open for the sole purpose of providing, well, not for the sole purpose, because there may be questions. Right, Bill?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll hold the record open pending receipt of that exhibit. And with that, I'll ask if there's anyone present that received certified mail that wishes to testify? Anyone present that received regular mail? Any other residents of Haverford Township? All right. With that, we will continue this case to our next regularly scheduled meeting on November 6th.
Thank you.
Well, good to take 5 anyways. We're going to take a 5-minute recess.
We're good.
Right. Our next case will be Z25-35, John Killen Jr., owner of 38 Fulmer Avenue, Havertown, PA, DC parcel number 2202-003450, who seeks variances from section 182-206C5A and 182-713B as a result of the subdivision case to permit an existing front porch to encroach into a front yard and to allow the existing building to maintain its existing nonconformity. The property is owned R6 and located in the second ward.
Morning, or afternoon, excuse me. It's evening. It's been a long day already. Nick Canigley, representing the applicant on this matter. As far as exhibits, I would request that I have the actual deed. When the application was made, they were only equitable owners. Since that period of time, they have settled, and I've marked as A1 the deed for the property. A2, I request the application.
Together with all the attachments or just the application, Nick?
Just the application will be the exhibits.
Good.
A3 is an aerial, which was not attached. I've included an aerial of the property. A4, there's 3 engineered plans that Christian will testify to. There's 3 pages. The first page, the site plan, A4, the record plan, A5, existing conditions, A6, and we have 2 renderings of the home to be built on the lot, which really isn't the subject of the zoning hearing, but I'm sure that the board would be interested in the style of the home that will be built, and they will be marked as A7 and A8.
I'm sorry, what was A6?
A6 was existing conditions plan,
Thank you.
engineered plan.
I thought that was A5.
No.
I had,
5. What was 5?
I had 4 as a site plan, 5 as the record plan, and A6 as the existing conditions. I'm not certain if that's the order you have them in there. We can change it.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. And then A7 and A8 were 2 renderings. This house, as was mentioned in the application, there's an existing twin and a plot of land next to the twin. It's one side of the twin, and the plot of land is under one deed. It was originally 2 parcels. Back in the 1940s, it was merged into 1 parcel. The reason for the relief here is the twin is non-conforming as to the front yard setback. The twin was built circa 1912 before zoning in Haverford, and like all the other homes there on the street, as you can see on the aerial, the front impinges on the front yard setback. And the only request here is to preserve that portion of the twin that encroaches into the front yard setback, so that it be consistent with the rest of the neighborhood and wouldn't destroy the appearance of the existing twin. So we would have two witnesses here. So we come up and be sworn in.
But Nick, just
Sean?
so everyone here is square, the reason you're here is so that the porch on the twin that you will construct can encroach into the front yard and be consistent with the adjoining twins.
The twin that exists will remain the same.
Okay, got you.
So it's not that we're going to construct, I think they're going to renovate the inside of the twin, but the structure itself is for the front to remain as it is.
So this only comes up because you're looking to subdivide, restore the original separation of the lot
Correct.
and along the same property line that originally was there? Are you going to move the property line a little bit?
I'm not, it was from the 40s, I don't know if anyone,
It's shifted.
Hey,
you have to come in and get sworn in anyway, so,
I'm just asking you.
yeah.
I don't.
We'll
Okay.
ask on testimony.
And just to, because I think this case is a fairly simple case, right?
Yes.
So you are going to build on the corner lot, and you don't need variances for that construction.
Correct.
The only variance you need is in order to subdivide without having to tear the porch off the existing twin, you'd like to keep it.
Absolutely right. And just so, here's, even though it's not relevant, there's just the photo of, is that the rear end? There should be one here, right? There it is, okay. The front of the home to be built. Again, not really relevant, but, just so the board is aware.
All right.
Sean? Sure. I agree, it's totally simple. What was just said is where we're
Well,
at.
and I think Bill may have just have jinxed this because whenever we say that, things seem
I-
to get
well,
murky.
yeah.
But we'll see.
But we'll go through it anyway.
All right, Nick, who's your first witness?
Sean?
So
Sean Killeen?
my
Please
legal,
wait, please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Your full name and the capacity in which you appear for the board?
So my legal name is John J. Colleen Jr. I go by Sean.
And where do you live?
13 Springhouse Lane in Havertown.
How long have you lived there?
So we've been in that house for 14 years. We bought our first house in Havertown in 2007.
What's your relationship to the owner here?
So I'm one of the partners and one of three partners in the ownership group.
And have you now settled on the property?
We settled last month.
And I've marked as A1 the deed to the property?
Correct.
And your relationship to 38 Fulmer Ave LLC?
So our development company is a 100% owner of that single purpose entity.
I've marked as, I believe, A3, the aerial of the property. And reviewing that aerial, your property is the one on the corner with kind of a little star on it.
Correct.
And your property includes that half of the twin,
Correct.
and then this lot to, I guess would be to the left of it along Lanark Avenue.
That's correct.
And your proposal here is to maintain that front porch area
Correct.
on the twin and to build a home on the lot.
Correct.
And you're not asking for any variances of any kind to build the home on the lot.
No.
And you heard some discussion about these lots were merged. What do you know about that?
So we did a little bit of research. In 1942, there were two lots identified on the deed. I guess it was April 15th, 1942, they merged under a single owner. So
Do you know if the lot lines were where they are now?
I can't speak to that, no.
Have you talked to some neighbors?
We have, yeah.
What in particular why don't you just tell the board?
Yeah, just like in the course of being at the lot and we're doing the renovation of the existing twin, we've met a number of the different neighbors. We've showed them the renderings of the new construction house. They're all very excited about it. We actually do have a relationship with the adjacent twin couple that owns it with their family. They're very much on board with our plans and our renovation, as well as the new construction build. So,
Okay, and Why do you want to keep the front porch area?
We just think it makes the most sense. I mean, aesthetically, to knock 2 feet, or to take off the porch and go 2 feet into that house, we just aesthetically, we don't think it makes sense for the neighborhood.
And according to the town, or the county's property card, when was this twin built?
It was built in 1920,
I think, believe the card may have said 1912, but. that's
1912, okay, sorry.
But that's all I have for this witness.
Okay. Wait. Jess?
Can you testify to, there appears from the aerial, which was A3, to be a structure in the rear? Could you talk about the current structure and what you propose for that?
Yeah, so that's a 2-car garage that is not, it was not built per code. So essentially, assuming we get the subdivision and everything, we're going to go ahead and knock that down, and that'll become a yard for the twin.
And and if you can't answer this and somebody else needs to testify to this, feel free to say that. Will Lot 1, I'm referring to A4, Lot 1, will that meet all impervious and building coverages? You're just here for the setback?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, it will.
Okay, no other questions?
Ed?
Yeah, I did know the former owner of this property.
Okay.
Back then, but that shouldn't affect my decision.
Were you there when they built it, Ed?
No, they built it, no, but the original owner was.
I'm just teasing you. I love you, McGargy.
The house proposal, we don't have an elevation view, but is the rear of the house have an exposed basement, or is that the first floor elevation?
So there's the rear.
So there,
That's the rear of the house.
like we brought up in another case, there would be, you could put a patio on the back, but you don't necessarily, wouldn't have to come in here for relief to build a deck, so there's no elevated deck that would be needed in this particular case, even in the future, unless you just like wood, I guess.
Right. No, I mean, we did that open covered porch. That's would sort of be your deck
Gotcha.
area on the rear, and that's a gas fireplace.
Okay. The other thing is the corner lot, and this is probably, the largest part of the yard is in the rear, so you shouldn't have a problem with fencing like we do on a lot of corner lots, so that's good. That's all I have.
Jessica?
I don't have any questions.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, Sean, a question on the separation between the driveway that currently serves Lot 1, that your half of the twin.
Yep.
And the driveway for your new house, for this one, Lot 2, it does look like it's not a shared driveway, right?
It is not, no.
Right, and so what's the separation between those two driveways?
But we'll have Chris, or should.
Okay.
Why don't we
swear
swear
him
him
in.
in? Yeah, why don't we swear him in and bring him up?
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, all truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Full name and the capacity in which you appear.
Christopher Charles Yawn, YOHN. I'm the civil engineer for the project. We prepared the plans.
And Chris, you're a registered engineer in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Yes, I am.
How long have you been?
Since 2006.
And I believe you're a Villanova grad? Is that where you
Yes.
get your degree? Have you been previously certified as an expert in various boards in Delaware County and the surrounding areas?
Yes.
Can Chris be,
And this board,
Yes.
right?
and this, yeah, yeah,
Yep. Go ahead, Nick.
okay. Chris, go ahead.
There's 2 feet between the proposed driveway and the existing to remain. When we went to, for what it's worth, when we went to the planning commission, they did ask if we could shift the proposed driveway over a little bit to provide a little more separation. We are limited by how close the driveway can get to the intersection with Lanark Road, but we can shift it a few feet, and we agreed to do that.
Okay. And so you're going to have it looked like what you were trying to do is have one garage spot and 2 driveway spots, one in front of the garage and one just to the side of it. So is the upshot of this that you'll end up with a garage spot and 1 spot in front of it?
My understanding of the code is that I need to show 2 spots next to each other in the driveway because they can't have like one
Right,
behind
but yeah.
another one. So that's why we have the two in the driveway that meet code. I think practically someone would use it as 3 spots.
Right, so, but what's the width of those spots? Because there's requirements on minimum width too. It looks like you were showing this at 18 feet wide, but now you're gonna narrow that down.
We would shift it over. We would keep it to be the 18 feet wide.
Okay, got it.
Basically, I have a little room there. I can go over to the edge of the building to give a little extra width.
And I didn't really hear earlier, and I apologize, the, like, impervious coverage and all that for lot 1 and lot 2, each one obviously measured separately. You don't need any relief, and you're okay on both building coverage and impervious coverage on both lots?
That's correct. We meet all of the building coverage, impervious coverage, height, front yard setbacks, rear yard setbacks, side yard setbacks, with the exception of the existing condition of the existing porch and twin building.
Jesse?
No, thank you for clarifying that, and thanks for confirming that, Chris. No other questions?
All right, Ed, you have any questions?
No questions.
Jess?
No questions.
Okay.
Actually, I don't have any other questions for Chris, unless the board has any.
Nope. I just polled the board, and as most times, this competent board asked any questions that I might have asked. So we're good. Anything else you'd like to add, Nick?
No, that's all we have.
All right, with
Just
that,
the exhibits be made part of the record.
all right, 30 minutes. With that, I'll ask if there's anyone present that received certified mail that wishes to testify in this case. Regular mail. Any other residents of Haverford Township? All right, we'll close the record on this case, and the decision will be rendered either this evening. If we're unable to render a decision this evening, one will be rendered at our next regularly scheduled meeting on November 6th.
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you. Well,
Yeah. Yes.
all right. Our next case is Z25-38, We Not Me Sports LLC, owner of record of 19 East Eagle Road, DC parcel number 22030081100, to seek a special exception from section 182404B3D to permit an indoor recreation facility. A special exception from section 182707B to permit the existing non-conforming off-street parking to continue as 0 spaces. Property is zoned C3 and located in the 3rd Ward. Enter your appearance again
Yep,
on
Nick
record.
Niglia, representing the applicant. I would request that A1 be marked as the application. A2 is the deed to the property. A3 is the lease agreement redacted between the owner of the property and the tenant. A4 is landlord's permission to proceed with this appeal. A5 are the site photos. A6 is the site plan. A7 is, there was a question regarding the availability of parking, and Grace Chapel permits the neighboring properties to use their parking lot when they are not having a service or otherwise in use. And I've marked those requirements from Grace as A7.
Nick, I'm trying to understand, so you don't have a written agreement with Grace? It is a written agreement?
No, there's no written agreement, but they open it up.
I know, but they open it up to everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is A7?
That's the Grace Chapel letter they send to all the business owners saying that it's opened up.
That's nice.
Okay. Okay, good. A8 is a CV of Al Federico, you do not have this either. I will hand this up. And I believe you do have the parking and traffic report, and that would be marked as A9. And Matt Hartman will be the witness here. We have two witnesses. We have Matt Hartman, who's the tenant and the user of the property. Then we have some testimony from Mr. Federico, but again, you have his report. I don't anticipate his testimony being very long.
Okay, who do you want first?
Matt?
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
And your full name and address and the capacity in which you appear?
Matthew Richard Hartman. I'm the owner of We Not Me Sports.
And where do you live, Matt?
I live in the Westgate neighborhood, 1824 Windsor Park Lane.
And what's your relationship to We Not Me Sports?
I became the owner 3 years ago. I worked in it for 15 years prior for my old high school basketball coach and his wife, and I was their first call when they sold it, and I said yes immediately.
What's your background business-wise?
I was a school teacher for 15 years, so Philly charter schools, and then the last 4, I was at the Grayson School in Radnor for gifted ed, and the Grayson School.
I believe it's Grayson.
So I've been a school teacher and a coach for my whole career.
And how long have you been involved with We Not Me?
I don't know if you had kids that went through it when it was called Better Ball or Mission 5 and 2, but it started in 2007, and I was there from the very beginning. They changed names just for tax purposes, and then I became the owner in 2022.
What's this business? What does it do?
We run camps, clinics, and leagues for children in the area. 80% Havertown, maybe 20% mainline. And when I bought it, it was basketball only, but I like to think of the long-term athletic development. So we've added sports, multiple sports now, and we've had a lot of great feedback this past year as we've introduced new programs, and it gave me the kind of proof of concept I needed that something like this could be successful and add value to the community.
I need you to be a little more specific, Matt.
Sure.
Like what type of sports, what type of clinics, leagues, image sports?
Yeah, absolutely.
At this site, what are you going to be? Actually,
Yeah, well, let me actually make the distinction real quick. What won't be there are our leagues. So we have flag football for girls in the spring, for the boys in the fall, and then our winter basketball league is our biggest program, and registration closes tomorrow. So we'll have 1,200 local kids signed up again this year, 100 plus teams. This facility is not big enough to host games, so we will not have any games, no tournaments, nothing like that. Our camps and our clinics will be held at this facility, in addition to some new programming, mainly an indoor playground space for toddlers.
and when that indoor playground space, when do you first see that being used for that purpose?
You mean what time of day?
What time of day?
That would be, we would have 3 or 4 different time blocks starting at 8 a.m., but it would be during typical school hours.
And what's your peak number that you foresee being there?
About 20.
Okay, is that the mommy and me type program?
That's the mommy and me stuff, yes, but I'm hoping a lot of dads come.
Okay, what do you mean by mommy and me?
So that is not a drop-off. That would be different from some of our programs at night, which would probably be, at least to have more of a drop-off opportunity because the kids will be older. But with the toddlers, the parents will come in with their children. I'll design the environment so that kids can work on their gross motor skills and move, and it'll be sports themed, but it'll be chances for them to run, climb, jump, and be active.
And you mentioned sports clinics. What type of clinics and what time do you foresee for that?
And to go back to your question, so the clinics are basketball, baseball, flag football, and soccer. And we'll be able to, that's what we're currently running right now. We had baseball earlier tonight. We are sold out. We had 66 little tykes running around.
Not there.
Not there, out right at Linwood Park. So those are the four main sports that we would continue. And during our camps, I think we had 12 different sports that we were introducing kids to.
Okay, do you foresee like a family night or something of that nature at the site too?
Yeah, so on weekend nights, we hope to tie in with the local businesses like Barada and Brick and Brew and Crossbar, and offer parents a chance to, one weekend would be a date night drop-off. The parents can go enjoy their meal, drop the kids off, we're gonna watch, we're gonna engage them. Other times, the parents and the whole family will be invited to come out. They can bring their own food, they can order from the restaurants nearby. We're gonna have games going on, we're gonna have stuff on the TV as well.
Do you feel eventually you'll have some sort of adult league in there?
Yeah, so.
Not net, but maybe building up to it?
Yeah, we're hoping to see if that's something our families are interested, or the parents are interested in. I've always ran programs for kids, but the parents are the ones who sign up, so those are the ones I'm talking to all the time. I think finding some kind of social movement club at night, weeknights, starting after 8 p.m., we would have a pickleball court, which would be on the basketball court. We would have a golf simulator, and we're still kicking around ideas for the other third
So
sport.
Matt, as we listen to you, I'm trying to bifurcate, what your business does more broadly to what specifically would be going on at this location. And we're listening for what the intensity of use is from parking, what the impact on the neighbors might be. So can you talk a little more specifically about this site? Like you mentioned the number of maximum of 20, and I'm not sure if that means 20 children. So let's talk about the impact, the intensity of the use of this site.
And I believe the uses you just described, they were the
Right, they're
uses
so,
at this
it's
site.
everything.
But they were at this, they were.
Well,
So let's try to narrow that. So
Okay.
if it's everything, that's a broad universe.
Go ahead.
The number of people, the maximum number of people you would have at this location, and also how many employees you would have at the location.
okay. So there will be about 5 or 6 programs offered throughout the week. The indoor playground I mentioned, which is during school hours, sports clinics, which would be in the evenings, the family or date nights on the weekend evenings. On the weekend, during the day, Saturday and Sunday, we'll offer birthday party opportunities.
So I guess the question is, how many people do we anticipate for these
What's your
type of
cutoff?
uses?
What's the max? When do you say that's it?
Sure, and it'll be all pre-registration, so there is no walk-ups, which would help us with these numbers. But that 20 to 25 range will allow us to do very well while maintaining our quality over quantity philosophy.
Is that 20
Children.
children, so that mommy and me, you've got 40 people there, you got 20 toddlers and 20 mothers, or parents?
I think with the mommy and me, if I get 20, I will be very lucky. But
Well, we're trying to
but
figure
we're
out-
talking maximum, right? So that would be 20 individual adults and with their children.
So that's 40.
Yes, people. Yes.
How many employees?
We are figuring out staffing now, but there's myself and Sean Riley, who's present tonight, who are the only 2 full-time employees for the business right now. We are trying to figure out if we need a handful of part-time to fill the hours, or if we'll go with 2 full-time people
When you say a handful of part-timers,
throughout the week. I mean.
right, so you might need one part-timer at all times, essentially?
Yeah, that's a better way to think of it.
This is all on one level, correct? This
That's
is all
correct.
one- And
Yep.
the building per the site plan, takes up pretty much the entire site, correct?
It takes up the entire site, 7,000 square feet.
What was there prior at this site?
Most recently, a financial firm.
Prior to that?
Used it as an office. I don't know how many years ago, but everyone I talked to seems to remember the Rock, which Grace Chapel used as an after-school drop-in center. And I think they did indoor recreation. There's a rock wall in the building. And prior to that was a place called Kangaroo U, which I think is a little bit more like my indoor playground programs.
And the uses in the area? What type of uses are in the area?
There is a fitness and 2 yoga spots. There's a couple offices or art galleries now, a couple restaurants.
Is there any on-site parking, or is it all,
No, none of the buildings have on-site parking.
so everything's metered?
Yes, and there's 19 spots directly behind it with an alleyway up to the front, and we have 2 doors out back that lead right to that parking lot, and then another 40 parking spots on the other side of the Cats.
Just to be clear, that, those 19 spots is a township municipal lot, right?
That's correct.
How many is it in the lot behind Cats?
40, at least 40. It might be 42.
Are you aware about any, whether the Oakmont parking lot, the one that you referred to is behind
Is that what it's called?
Cats, yeah, that there are entitlements given by the township or used to be given for preferred or particularly at night parking? So people can, they're not guaranteed a spot, but by getting the entitlement, they don't have to pay
Interesting.
per use.
I'm not familiar.
Jonathan, is that still the case? Do you know? Okay. Because, for instance, in your evening plans, those spots may not be available.
Sure.
If your
And we've
people get there
considered it.
first, they can take them. But there's other people who will pull in there and stay all night because they're not paying.
One thing in our, I think, working in our, not just our favor, but the whole parking conundrum's favor, is that the children will be older at night, as not toddlers, and old enough to be dropped off. And that parking lot, in fact, the way it's set up, the flow of it, they come in one side, they go out the other. And because of our entrances or exits in the back, we will be able to, as a former teacher, set up a car line and have a nice process with staff out back in case that is busy or in case it is raining or too cold. We can find ways to make it convenient. And I'll just add one other thing. The fact that everyone has to pre-register, it allows us to communicate. I don't have to randomly talk to whoever walks in the door. So if we're finding out the 7 o'clock on Tuesday nights is just never any spots, I can do a better job of communicating that.
Mr. Federico would have more information on the parking, and we'll get to him in probably.
What would you do to stop parents from just dropping off at the front door on Eagle Road and blocking traffic?
I will have to communicate that up front. I'm sorry, that is someone who is signed up and who is dropping off on Eagle Road. I will have to figure out, I mean, there are spots there, right? So if they get lucky, then they can pop out real quick and bring the kids in. There is a space between this parking spot and Eagle Road. I'm not going to encourage anyone to do it, but it will allow them to get out of the way of traffic. I feel like that would be an illegal move to do so. So if you have a suggestion that I can communicate that better, I'm all ears.
Did you happen to see the approval that we gave on the prior owners who are running the business and the concerns about parking that were discussed and the
In
availability?
the last meeting? I did.
No,
Oh, tonight.
for this property,
Yeah.
a couple years ago.
Oh, no.
Obviously, there were significant concerns about parking even for a business that didn't have any walk-in customers. And the availability of parking, and many of us may remember when it was Kangaroo U and there would be 100 kids in there and parents during birthday parties on Saturday mornings, and there was a lot of people that would go in there.
My thesis for being able to actually make a profit and be successful is that I'm not limited to just a couple hours, and I need to pack that to get the numbers. But because we are spread out throughout the day, throughout the week, it's going to allow me to stick with this quality over quantity thing. I just have a really strict limit with my clinics of the ratio between students and coaches, or players and coaches. And I'm not really willing to do that for the sake of the buck. And this will help us try to keep the numbers low, so it helps everyone.
All right, were you done your direct? I'm sorry.
Sure, yeah, I was just
I
gonna-
interjected, and
No, that's okay. Real quickly, I just was going to go through the exhibits. A1 is the application, correct? That we
yes.
filed. A2, A3, A4, D, lease permission,
Yes,
okay? A5 were the site photos.
correct.
A6, the site plan.
Yes,
A7, you had acquired the requirements from Grace Chapel.
correct.
That's all I would have. We would call Al Federico to testify regarding parking.
Do we bring up the letters?
And we do have the letters of support.
You want me to hand them out?
so before we move
Yeah.
on to that, I do want to just poll the board to make sure everyone was able to ask any questions they have of Matt. So Jess, did you, or do you have any other questions?
Yeah, my biggest question is, we're talking very general, but we don't have a floor plan, and what I would be looking for is a floor plan that would lay out the proposed space so that we could even see how many parking spaces you would be required to have. So based on public area that's, open to the public, and what ratio the parking would need to apply, just so, I guess you're asking for zero. We don't know from the testimony what you would even be required, so that we see what is the delta between what you are required to provide and versus zero. So I'd like to see that in this case before I feel like I could make any kind of decision based on any fact. Is that something that you guys have started to explore, like a floor plan?
Yeah, I've designed pretty much every inch of it. It would be a half basketball court on one side, a turf on the other side. There's a small play zone behind that as well, with an interactive touch screen for the kids.
And you have a pickleball court in here too?
There is space to use that basketball court at night, if it's not being used for basketball, to be able to put a pickleball net down.
I agree with Jesse. I think it would be helpful because then we can also assess the magnitude of the ask here of no parking.
And I feel like was there a basement in there too? Is there anything that's gonna happen in a basement?
No, storage for us.
Storage, okay. And then you have the height to do basketball in there? I can't picture this being
For a half
tall
court,
enough.
for a half court and for 8-year-olds, yeah.
Oh, okay. What else? Are you aware that this is a historically designated site in the township?
Yes,
And that you would have to go before the historic commission with any changes that you're making to the facade?
yes.
Okay.
Do you
Just wanna-
intend to make any changes to the facade?
To this facade, no, it looks great.
No other questions at this time.
I have a couple.
Billy?
Yeah. So you said, I'm going to pick a day first. Let's just pick a weekday. So generally, what are your proposed hours? You say you're a teacher too, but.
No, I'm not,
Oh,
I'm
not
full-time,
anymore. Okay.
full-time.
So is this open at like 9 to 9?
8 a.m. to 10 p.m.
8 a.m. to 10 p.m., okay. And so, let's say during the school hours, from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., how many of the toddler events do you hold? I mean, they're not there all day, it's not a
No.
daycare. So, they come in for an hour and then?
2-hour blocks,
2-hour blocks?
Yeah.
So in a 8-hour school day, you'll have
3 of them.
three of them. You keep a little time in between for
That's right.
turnover? And so you'd be talking like during the day, or there may be a time during turnover where you may have 40 adults with toddlers in tow that are coming and going.
We're aware of that being an issue, so we are buffering it enough time that they wouldn't even see each other. And we need to do a little cleanup because they're toddlers, and we probably are gonna maneuver some stuff around, so we need that 45 minutes to an hour in between.
Okay. And that's, okay. And then, so the 2-hour blocks don't include that hour? So it's 2-hour block plus then an hour turnover and then another 2-hour block?
So it'd be 8 to 10 would be the first block, and they can choose to stay the whole time if they want. And then the next one would be at 11.
Got it. Okay. And then once we get after school and now you're doing more clinics, how many different clinics are going on at the same time, and
Yeah,
what's that time frames?
Good question. So the clinics start at 5 p.m., and we would have 3 one-hour blocks of clinics. So 5 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8. And we would have, this is like the max. Things are going great for me kind of idea, but we would have a basketball clinic on one side, have about 10 kids over there, and maybe a soccer one on the turf side, and about 10 kids over there.
What's the square footage?
Of the whole building, 7,000, but there's a wall that divides the middle, so it almost looks as if it's two different spaces. And the spaces help us maintain all the kids.
And if we were inclined to grant this, would you be willing to kind of cap it at those levels of 10 on the turf and 10 on the half court, just to
Yeah.
try to bring some level of, reasonable expectations about the number of people there?
Absolutely.
And then, so your Friday, or your family nights on the weekends, what's your target audience for that?
Haverford Town parents with 2 kids in tow. Who are like,
Are you pack them in and you watch a movie, or I'm trying to figure out how many people are gonna be there on a Friday night or Saturday night when Brick and Brew is running at capacity.
Sure.
And,
Kelly, across the street.
Kelly Music Hall may be at capacity.
Sure.
Snow's forecasted. Grace Chapel says no one's parking in our lot tonight.
well,
I'm thinking worst case scenario, right?
of course, this space is zoned for a restaurant and a brewery.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't have to be here, and they could also be adding all of these traffic or parking issues as well. But we are talking about having 20 kids total. I think that would be the best way for us to manage the number, is not by families, because they're all different sizes, but 20 kids, and that could be 10 families one night, it could be 15 the next, but we're able to, with our software, track it and cap it and limit that.
And you're not counting parents for that because they're dropping the kids off.
Well, it depends. If it's a family night, the parents are coming in.
So it'd be maybe 20 kids and
Yeah,
10 parents?
Yeah. And we will probably do that school-based. All of our basketball league teams and flag football, it's not a random pool. We don't do the draft. You have to play with your classmates. And that's helped us build a sense of community and build chemistry with the kids. So in my kind of organization of our families, it is a very school-based thing. And this would start with, again, the Haverford Town schools coming up. And I would have to chunk them down, of course.
And so when you're doing your birthday parties on the weekends, is that kind of similar to what your toddler event is, as far as like 2-hour blocks and a turnover window, and then
Yeah.
another 2-hour block is?
We're expecting 2 birthday blocks on Saturday and 2 on Sunday, and they're both 2 hours long.
But again, capped at 20 kids?
Oh, yeah. And I would expect less parents. Almost like dropping them off
And
at
it
the
depends
house.
on the age of the kids, because sometimes the parents have to go.
Yeah, but we're not doing it. We're not doing birthdays for the real little ones. So it's 7 to 12.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I do them on my own now at people's houses, and that's what I like to do. What I can tolerate.
Okay. I don't think I have any more, but that's been very helpful. Thank you.
Ed?
Yeah, I'm just trying to wrap my head around here, and I don't know if you're with the president or your attorney can answer these questions. Is this type of use permitted by our zoning?
It's special exception.
So it's not a listed category, it's a special exception, and can you explain how this fits the definition of a special exception?
When you have a special exception, there's certain standards. If you meet the standards in the code, the objective standards, then any burden would have to be on the protestant to show that we don't meet subjective standards. In this instance, we meet the objective standards, and there's no one opposing, as far as I know, the application from the subjective standards in the code. So the burden would be on any objector on the subjective standards. So that's how we meet the special exception, because we do really meet the objective standard in the code.
Okay,
And it's similar to the other uses, and it's similar to uses that have already been on this site previously.
well,
Yeah, but Nick, if you pull the orders, the zoning orders for the other uses that were permitted, you'll see the restrictions. So that's why we're trying to like
Sure.
wrangle this in. So, because like, we have the plan for the worst, as Billy said.
Okay,
And then we're gonna limit, if this is approved, it's gonna be conditioned.
sure.
So if you pull the other orders, you'll see
Yeah, that's
how
probably,
in-depth
yeah.
we like went. So, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of additional questions once the interior sketch plan, you bring that up.
and you're gonna produce if any, zoning restrictions that were placed on?
I will ask the break to know, perhaps they'll give them to me a little bit quicker.
I don't think you'll need to do that. I think you just ask for it
You
and
call and ask, okay.
you can have them.
I'll send you an email.
There's no secrets. If I had them, I'd send them to you. I don't think he was all of them.
I heard some, where do you currently, conduct your program? You do some at houses for birthday parties, but
That's just that's 1% of it. So we rent local schools and parks. So the Haverford School in Agnes Irwin, the CREC, we use a lot for basketball.
do you have anybody else competing with you with flag football?
I'd like to think not.
Did you do a flag football event at Normandy Park? There was one, so that's what I'm trying to think.
Oh, I see.
They had little banners and stuff about flag football.
That's nice.
Well, there must be somebody competing.
Matt will smash them. Go ahead.
Have you talked to the township about your plans to use the parking lot that they own? I don't know what the current status of that parking lot is, about using it for a drop-off area?
No, I'm not.
Could you do that to make sure that, and get something that says that they approve that type of activity?
Sure.
Okay, that's all I have.
Thank you, Ed.
Jessica,
I would just want to see when you prepare the plan of the interior, if the township does give you permission to drop off in their lot, what the connection between that lot and the rear door of your property is, and how people will be moving from one space to the other. I think will be important to see.
What do you mean by the connection?
Does the township parking lot come right up to the back of your building? Or the attendee's gonna be crossing some kind of cement grass area to get to the back door?
4 feet of grass.
So I just want to see that labeled on the plan. I don't have any other questions right now.
Jess, you have anything else?
No.
Billy?
No, not right now.
All right, Ed, you just finished? Jess just finished? But Matt's not leaving, right? Other things may pop up.
Okay, yeah, oh, yeah.
Thank you, Matt.
And just Al Frederico, and then
Okay.
any other questions, and I would request continuous, give the necessary extension, and for both the hearing and for written decision.
All right, where's Al? Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes,
And your full name and the capacity in which you appear?
Albert Federico, and I'm appearing as a traffic engineer on behalf of the applicant.
And I've marked as A8 your CV, is this accurate?
Yes, it is.
And you're a registered engineer in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania?
Yes, I am.
And have you been previously qualified as an expert in traffic engineering in the Commonwealth?
Yes, I have.
Did you, and can he be, as a traffic expert?
I know Mr. Federico.
Okay.
And vouch for his credentials.
All right, unless there's any objections or questions from my fellow board members, we'll accept Al as an expert in that area.
Did you, Al, did you perform a analysis of both parking and traffic for this site?
Yes, I did.
And I have handed that up as A9?
Yes.
Okay. And can you tell us about the report, how you did it, methodology, roadways, area, things of that nature?
So since this is a special exception from a traffic perspective, the criteria in the code want to ensure that the use does not create undue traffic hazard relative to the other permitted uses in the district, also that there is adequate parking. The traffic associated with this use was estimated using the information prepared from the Institute of Transportation Engineers, the trip generation manual, used land use category 495, which is an indoor recreation facility, 7,000 square feet. So in the morning and evening peak hours, a typical use of this type would generate 14 trips in the morning and 20 in the evening. Each trip is either an entering or an exiting. So that would be most on the average day, 7 cars during the morning peak, 10 cars during an evening peak. I will stipulate that there was not a lot of data for uses of this size, so we actually went out and did supplemental observations of the My Gym facility in Springfield to look at how many people were going in and out during a couple of the morning periods, and it was actually below the numbers we were estimating. So,
But was the square footage comparable? Were those 7,000 square foot My Little Gyms?
I don't believe the square footage was comparable, but looking at their website, their anticipated number of attendees was consistent with the information that I had been provided by the applicant. Also, again, since this is a special exception, compared the traffic generated by the anticipated use to some of the other by right uses within the district. Those are presented in the bar chart in the last page of the traffic assessment. The first use is the recreational facility. A small office building, if someone would use that as a small office building, would likely generate less traffic, but if you keep going through the uses that permitted in the C3 district, you know, medical or dental office would generate more traffic. Retail would definitely generate more traffic. And if another dining or restaurant, which is a by right use in that facility, were to occupy that space, that would generate a significant amount more traffic than the proposed recreational use. Based on these comparisons,
I'm just saying, I don't think we ever got your report. This is the first.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm sorry.
draft. Ernie had it, but I don't think I don't think it came in the application. So,
Do you have any other copies?
that's
your copies.
disappointing.
Yes, it was. It was in there.
I will send it by email, and then it can be distributed, I guess.
I have copies of
You have
it all
copies?
here if you want.
Oh, sure, okay.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be great.
But suffice to say, there are a lot of other by right uses in the C3 district that generate significantly more traffic than the use that is being proposed.
Al, you do realize that the Oakmont C3 has some unique characteristics, like with so little parking compared to any other C3 spot, right? I mean, I'm not sure that, I would be more interested in that same statement from you about other by right uses in the Oakmont district.
In the Oakmont district.
Where they all share some of the same
So
limitations?
this is a fairly classic small-town center
Yeah.
that you can find throughout Delaware County. This is a development pattern that arguably predates cars. In many of these places, predates a lot of the zoning that we're working with. Throughout, I would suggest, the recent history of that area, these uses have primarily relied on the off-street parking areas, which I would suspect is why the township has the one Oakmont parking area just north that has 48 parking spaces in it. And to the south, you have the Oakmont South, and I'd like to not misspeak because some of those spaces are on the one side, on the south side, they're reserved, whereas the 20 public spaces immediately adjacent to this property. Plus, you have the on-street parking in the area. As noted before, there is an agreement that, under a number of conditions, allows parking on the Grace Church. You also have a number of the uses throughout this area that are not open at some of the times that we're seem to be concerned about. I want to bring up some of the restaurants, but when those are open, a lot of the office on the corner, the Haverford Grill, the pharmacy, those are all closed. So you have a very complementary mix of uses that allows for a good interaction of the parking.
And you've done that granular level of analysis of looking at, which of these businesses are closed while others are open, and you've been able to, can you document how compatible those really are? Because I've never seen that kind of analysis yet.
Well, there is something that's called a shared parking analysis. No, I have not gone. When I did my field view, and when I have gone back several times since, I have taken note of the different types of business. I believe, is it the plumbing supply business on the corner?
Yeah, which is really just a storefront.
Right. There's the Haverford Grill, which is a breakfast and lunch place. Nudies across the street. The Katz's, and again, just before this hearing, I drove by again, just to see, again, in, general evening. And the Oakmont lot was still about half empty.
So
The south lot, which you had mentioned before, that was more full, but again, that's closer to the restaurant, there may be some other users that are but there is actually a fair bit of parking in this area. And I would suggest, based on either the standards provided by what I referenced in my report was the Institute of Transportation Engineers, there is adequate access parking to accommodate this under the majority of situations. If you look in the zoning code, if you want to compare this to the criteria, I believe it is for courts, where you need one space for every 3 players. So if they're running in a clinic with 15 children, that could arguably be a 5-space requirement.
Why? Because you have studies that show they carpool, or, those
No,
5 kids
that's
need,
that's the zoning code.
Yeah, but I'm saying still, the practical reality is that those kids aren't driving themselves. They're being driven. They're being dropped off somewhere. They're being walked from a parking spot over to the building, unless they get lucky and they can pull up right in front of the building and discharge the minivan in, right? There's still a problem. And the Grace Chapel thing is, to me, it's a red herring. That Grace Chapel parking isn't available 24/7. There are significant limitations, and it's offered to everyone. And there's no special entitlement for this applicant to have parking there. The same problem we were hearing was Nudies, while it was still Bryn Mawr Trust, that Brick and Brew had a written agreement, at least, to have customers park there. But I'm looking for not a Grace Chapel policy of public parking. I'm looking for real parking spots that are available, dedicated or not, but at least the record should reflect what are the rights of parking. And also, when you're looking at Oakmont, not Oakmont South, have you talked to the township about how many of those lots, if any still, have entitlements given out to residents who rent them? They don't get exclusive. Historically, they were not guaranteed a spot, but if they pull their car in, they don't have to pay.
They've
Okay.
already paid.
They've already paid.
So, I mean, that they're a regular user, but, I mean, now again, I have not seen those agreements. I think the parking as presented, I mean, I cannot foresee a time when this building, which has been occupied for the better part of many years, that has never had dedicated parking. It has, within the town center, village center concept, always relied on shared parking. I am not, other than, I think, the restaurant on the corner seems to have a small lot in back, but I don't know if any of the businesses in that area have their own dedicated parking. And I'll defer to the attorneys. I don't believe we're here for a variance.
You're not.
Yeah, special exception.
Special exception.
Yeah.
So I would argue that, based on the criteria for the special exception, that there is adequate parking in this area. Yes, it is public parking, but that is what this area has been developed and used for.
And when you
over
talk
time.
about the town center concept that you're comparing this to, those are planned town centers that you're talking about, aren't they?
No, I'm not
You're
talking about Main Street
historic-
at Exton. I'm
Okay.
talking about
Historic town centers that
real
predated. all-
town centers. The things that Main Street at Exton is trying to replicate poorly, and that King of Prussia has not done that bad a job of.
Right,
But
they've got a lot of parking.
But those are faux towns. So this
Yeah.
is a town center.
So let me ask a couple questions. Eagle Road Corridor, comprehensive plan, design concepts for Eagle Road Corridor. Have you looked at any of that as far as questions about parking and traffic and the long-term vision for this corridor and how this might fit in with the new comp plan?
I have not reviewed the comp plan. I have a hard time believing that the comprehensive plan would be proposing any significant changes to
Well-
this block, but.
Oh, I'm not sure it is, but the vision for a walkable community here might support some of your arguments. I'm pointing out to you that you
Yeah.
might want to take a look at it. This has been a troublesome issue, right? That Oakmont wants to be a walkable community, yet the businesses struggle to find, the building property owners struggle to find businesses who can work within that, given parking and some of the other physical limitations of the space. And, I think the commissioners have thought about this. We haven't, I would have hoped that years ago, we might have seen a change in the zoning code that would have obviated this problem for you guys. But we don't have it. The commissioners haven't taken that up. But I do think the comprehensive plan may be a place where you might find some help. And that's why I think you both might want to look at
It's
it.
okay. List, just,
I don't know, Ed or Jessica or Jesse, if you guys have any, I'm good.
Yeah, I have a question. So I understand, and we've had many traffic engineers in front of us, and I totally understand the use of the guides for some of the other uses that might be kind of unknown. But do you factor in when the applicant has, a plan of how many people they expect and how many times they expect to turn it over? Do you run your analysis based on those to compare it?
In general, for the traffic engineering analysis, we try to limit it to the peak hour. So even though he may be running a number of different, we're looking at one window. We try to capture when the traffic is higher. This is, in this case, again, we tried to validate it a bit against just making the observation of the other use. And again, based on the conversations I've had previously, and it was represented to me that that the use was going to expect for the mommy and me, 15 family units. That would be ideal. I know he obviously would like to be able to accommodate more. That's happening in the middle of the day, and the times we've gone out there, parking has not been an issue. I mean, there seems to be a plethora of available parking, and the two times, we went out midday to make those observations. I think where you might conceivably see is when you have maybe a Friday evening or a Saturday, but as presented, they're trying to be a complementary use where you can drop the kid off here and either leave and then parking's not an issue, or avail yourself of one of the other businesses, and at such time you're fulfilling two businesses with one parking space, which seems like for a win for a town center scenario like this.
But you did hear your own client say that even for the indoor playground, where the kids are probably too little to be dropped off or they don't walk, that you're talking about 20 adults and 20 kids for 1 2-hour block, and yet you were going to hang your hat on 14 trips maximum in the mornings?
In the peak hour, yes, I am. This is the average. Again, as an engineer, we tend not to lean towards the maximum because those are such rare occurrences. If you try to design for that, then you're going to have unrealistic infrastructure, and you're going to have every engineer come in here and tell you that you need to widen the intersection of Darby Road and Eagle Road. And we all know that if you did that, that is going to destroy the character of that little block. So we're looking at the average. I think on an average basis, he would like to achieve the 15. I think if you're looking at the 1 hour period, the employees are probably there before that, so I wouldn't count them as the traffic generation. Now you're talking about the parents, 7, 8, maybe he gets more, but in the realm of traffic, when you have, I forget how many thousand cars a day on Eagle Road and Darby Road, this is really a negligible amount of traffic that we're talking about here. And per the requirements of the special exception, it's not going to create undue hazard in this area.
Remember also the mommy and me is during the day when there probably would be less impact on the parking spaces.
And for the record, could you clarify what you define as peak morning and evening? Which hour?
If it were just an hour. We will typically define the morning peak as the highest 1 hour between 7 and 9 in the morning. And the evening peak would be the highest 1 hour between 4 and 6 in the evening.
Okay, thanks.
Everybody else? Ed?
No other question.
Jessica?
No other questions.
Billy, you're done?
Yeah, thank you for all.
Good talk.
Yeah,
Matt?
I'm sorry, you did
Go ahead.
one.
Yeah, I just wanted to add a couple quick things. So we looked at 20 different locations to find a spot. The comprehensive plan was a big inspiration for us because in the survey there were 8 things that the residents hoped to have in the community one day, and we had about 4 out of the 8, and it was the highest voted ones, and it just let me know I was on the right track, that I wasn't just a fun idea for me, but it was a chance to add value. I reached out to my family's pretty considerable network at this point and was pretty much inundated with support in the emails, and a few of them wrote some letters. I just want to read one sentence from one of the letters, if that's okay.
Matt, don't mistake the fact that we have questions.
Oh, no.
Being-
I just want to get this.
Against, opposed, or in favor, we have a job to do, and we do it.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can submit letters, you can submit them as part of your exhibits if you want.
I would love to. She said this is 10 moms from Chatham Elementary that decided to spend the time to write the letter.
We're confident the benefits this facility will bring will far outweigh any of the temporary inconveniences. And just the one line in there, a lot of the parents were so excited because it's walkable for them. And others will carpool and others will drop off and some will park. It just feels like this has a chance to be an anchor business for that town and provide value for these kids for multiple years. And you're bringing up all of these very fair points, and the commissioners haven't gotten in line with what is actually in the code. But we're asking that you see the outsized value for families with small children in this community who want to continue to love where they live and have something for their kids.
You're talking to a board who all reside in the township, we're required to, and all have children, and have coached and taken all those children to sports, so you have a captive audience. But, you know, we just need to gauge and know exactly what we're giving relief from. As Jesse said earlier, what are the parking requirements? And you're asking for 0, therefore the relief is X, because we have to be careful not to set a precedent. If you decide you're growing and your business is thriving, and I hope you do, and you say, I'm going to go to a larger location. So now a subsequent tenant comes in and says, well, you did it for the last guy. So, you know, we have to keep a pretty consistent standard. That's why you're getting asked the same questions as Kangaroo you did and Grace Chapel, and, you know, a little bit of skepticism on the Grace Chapel parking because everyone within a mile comes in and says, oh, we have Grace Chapel. So out of those spots they've committed 3 times the number of spots.
But it's only one
But we
amount.
get it, and we understand the hours, and Al made a great point. You know, but a lot of businesses are closed when you might be at your peak, so they're valid points. So we're listening carefully to everything.
The parking requirement in the code, right or wrong, is not that much. It's
Right.
for like 1 per 1,000 for,
But it's
7,000.
measured
That's
off
the
the,
analysis that we do need. Anyone coming in for a variance, for instance, and I realize we're a special exception, but anyone coming in for a variance on parking, they would have to we'd have to understand what is the code telling us that parking is required before we can determine whether a variance should
Right.
be given.
yeah, in this case, technically with the code, it's requiring 7, so it's a small delta, but according to code.
which makes it perhaps less I'm going to leave it.
Yeah, normally,
You understand.
it's the opposite. Normally,
Right.
the code is much more than
Right.
what
So if
what
there
is
were
occurring.
walls and offices put in there, the requirement would be much higher.
Right.
So one might argue that this has less of an impact, right?
Do you have copies of this?
Yes.
Okay, no, I'll just go to mark, this is A11, we can,
What is it, Nick?
these are the letters.
Support
And I'm not marking, I'm just marking it as a
It's
group.
10, Billy.
If you want to.
We're up to 10.
Did you skip 10, Nick?
Okay, 9 was traffic
Right.
report. I thought,
Yeah, so
don't have
you're
a
at
10.
10 now.
yeah, 10,
So this is 10?
that's 10.
Thank you.
And there's several in there in the packet. Instead of marking each one, we just mark the group.
Any letters in opposition that you're, I'm like, I love it. So,
There's a rent abatement.
okay.
Okay.
That's that. When it's approved.
I think we should go in the back and talk. And
They may not give us a decision.
Do you have to wait till the next meeting, or can we get all this stuff in next week?
We can get it in, but we still have to test.
Issue. The floor plan.
See, I think,
I don't understand the floor plan.
we're going to talk. Okay, let's not talk.
Right. Nick, we're going to take a 5-minute recess.
Okay,
Just
thank you.
5. Let's go in the caucus room. All right. So, do you have anything else, Nick?
I believe there are members in the audience that would like to talk, that's all.
We'll, as soon as you're done your case in chief, we've already asked our question.
Yeah, okay,
So we do have to keep the record open, obviously, so
Oh,
he's
yeah.
not technically done his case in chief yet.
Correct.
So we'll keep
Right.
that open.
Good point, Ernie.
But at this point, at least move exhibits A1 and through A10 into the record.
yes, please.
We have that. So
All right,
good
they're
on both of
admitted.
those. And I do think you said that you would be happy to waive the applicable time frame under the MPC and the township in order to
Correct, yeah.
reschedule this matter and then any type of
I can send
decision.
you a letter, Ernie, if
That,
you wish.
the
Yeah.
put on record is fine with me.
Okay.
And then we don't need to do any advertising because we'll recontinue this for November 6th, so we're good there.
November
And then you just
6th.
want to move the public comment, we can go from there.
Yeah, we're gonna do the public comment right now.
Okay.
And if you want to send the sketch plan in advance,
We'll try to send you as much as we can in
yeah,
advance.
Jonathan will circulate it.
Okay, great.
All right, cool. Then with that, I'm going to ask if there's anyone present that received certified mail that wishes to testify? Anyone present that received regular mail? Any other residents of Haverford Township? Please come forward. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And your full name and address for the record, please?
Jonathan Druhan, 1815, Jonathan Druhan, that's Druhan. That's 1815 Earlington Road in Havertown. And I'm actually here to speak on behalf of Discover Haverford. I'm board president for Discover Haverford. So I'll be speaking on behalf of our board of directors. Our office is at 412 Darby Road in Havertown.
What would you like to tell us, Jonathan?
Well, first, as many of you may know, we're a 501c3 nonprofit organization that stimulates commercial district revitalization and promotes economic vitality in Haverford Township. Sorry. Yeah. We started operating 15 years ago at a time when our older business districts were looking very run down with a lot of vacancies. And including this Oakmont area that's under discussion now, we had like just 7 vacancies in that area alone. I'm happy to say over the 15 years we've been in operation, we've really turned that around. So now we're seeing a lot more businesses in the area, a lot greater vitality. But, we still have a couple of issues that we deal with. One is within Oakmont. We've got a number of businesses in there that I kind of refer to as occupied vacant, similar to the business on the corner, which is basically a storefront without anybody in there. And there's several businesses in the district that really, they're kind of operating out of their home or, otherwise they've got low influx of customers. And having a lot of businesses like that in the area kind of impedes business for the others because you don't have, a lot of customers come in that will kind of go to one business and say, oh, while I'm here, I'll go and, around the corner to the card shop or stop across at Wildflower Collective across the street or, have dinner. So it's, we've really been looking to increase the number of businesses that will bring more customers to the area in general, and that way kind of boost the overall economy of the area. And, we're actually looking at We Not Me as a potential business that could do that, bringing a number of, customers in throughout the day, especially like, the young moms who might, really benefit from then going over to Wildflower Collective, which has, support programs for new mothers. That would really benefit their business as well as, benefit the area in general. And a lot of the moms that are, moms or dads that are dropping off their children, could then go and hang out or, if they drop them off later towards dinner time, go to Crust Pizza and pick up a pizza on the way home. So I think there's real opportunity here to kind of boost the overall vitality of all the businesses in the area. Now, of course, the key issue is the parking. We clearly don't want to boost the vitality of the business district so much that, there's competition for parking, different business customers are being disadvantaged and then parking is spilling over into the neighborhoods. We clearly want to avoid that. But what I've actually done, because this has been such an issue over the years, I've personally gone and done what we call a preliminary parking study, where I kind of walked through Brookline, up Darby, around Oakmont District and counted the number of parking spaces available and the number that were used. 3 different days, 3 of them at
around noon to 1, also around the evening between, 6 and 8 timeframe. What I ultimately found is that, there's, despite all the kind of rumors about lack of parking, there is good parking availability, especially during the daytime. There's about 60% utilization of the parking spaces. And I didn't even include Grace Chapel in this. I was looking at Oakmont lot, the lot behind the building in question. And then also looking at some of Oakmont South, and then street parking available. Because one of the challenges here, of course, is with our older districts, none of these businesses have their own off-street parking lot. They're entirely reliant on municipal parking and metered street parking. So I really focused on the counts there. And, the parkings does, there's more utilization later in the evening between the 6 and 8 time frame. It goes up to, in the 3 days that I was, or 3 evenings I was looking at it, on average there was about 78% utilization, meaning that there was still 20% available for parking. Now that's an average. It does kind of vary either way depending on the night, and I was looking in April. I've also looked at Google Earth and gone back and looked at 3 different dates in 2023, 2024. These satellite pictures are taken around noon, but you can zoom in on the parking lots and the street parking and see how much utilization. Again, it confirmed that there was even less, maybe around 50% utilization. So, especially during the day, there is good availability of parking in the area to support a new business. And as I say, it would be important to have, a dynamic business come into the area, as long as it's not competing for parking. And of course, with Grace Chapel, they've got an extra 60 parking spaces available. So even if, there have been nights where I've gone into the Oakmont parking lot, going to the Bluegrass Gems at the Kelly Center, the lot will be temporarily full. But there is ample parking over at Grace Chapel. So I think, this is, the parking availability can support a business like We Not Me. And I think it would be a very good business. I think with the way the business has been run so far, I think it's very popular in the community. I, put an email out to our board today and got a lot of responses back saying, oh yeah, we'd love to have this business in our district. So we're strongly in support of the business's application for a special exception. So thank you.
Right. Any questions? Jess?
No, but thank you.
Billy?
Yep.
Ed?
No question.
Jessica?
Questions?
All right, thanks, Jonathan.
Okay, thanks for your time.
Anyone else? Any other residents of Haverford Township? No? Just spectating? Nobody wants to talk to us? Okay. All are well. I'm not. Please raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
And your full name and address, please.
Steve Klein, 112 Princeton Road, Havertown, PA, K-L-E-I-N. And I own a business that operates at 10 East Eagle. So it's right across the street on Eagle Road. So my business is a graphic design advertising business. I have, myself works there, and I don't have an employee, but I have someone that comes in and works out of the office as well. The front part of my business is an art gallery. So that business just needs traffic. I need walking traffic. I need the area to be more of a buzz. The art gallery is supporting some local artists from Havertown. I'm part of the Havertown Guild has a host event where they have a studio tour. So I'm one of the stops on that tour. I like to think of myself as someone who's trying to help the community and bring the best out of our community. I think my art gallery does that. I think it's a nice place where people can display some art, perhaps purchase it, but it just needs traffic. And the Oakmont is, I feel like it's if I could use an analogy, it's like this dormant flower that is ready to bloom with a lot of cool new kind of art-related businesses. Kelly Music Center is doing a great job. Wildflower Collectives is another one. And I think that's why I thought the art gallery was kind of a good idea. And I think the We Not Me going in there pulling in some traffic, young moms and some other parents, maybe they're going to take a walk over to Brick and Brew or Barada. Maybe they pop in, check out some local art. I think it's all kind of that community vibe where we all are helping each other. So, yeah.
All right, any questions? Jess, Bill,
You're
Ed,
welcome. Thank you.
Jessica? Thanks.
Sure.
Anyone else? Going once, going twice? All right, then, Nick, so here's where we're at, right? Matt's gonna come back. I don't think we need Al. Do we need Al? Traffic? So we're done with Al.
Yeah.
But we'll need Matt back. You'll bring, the interior sketch and, illustrate the pathway from the township parking lot or the turnabout up into the building, and some sort of township acquiescence to use it for such.
And
Am I missing anything?
Confirm what what parking, confirm what your required parking would have been. And, you know, again, I think we encourage you to take a look at the zoning records for this property and see some of the issues that have come up on parking here and how we've tried to manage that before or, you know, provide relief within reasonable
Right.
boundaries.
Yeah, the zoning orders, and you don't have to put in a clear request.
Sure,
We'll
yeah.
give them to you.
Yeah, I think the code,
If I brought them tonight, I would have given them to you, but I didn't bring them.
yeah, I think the code's pretty, it says one spot, I think, per 7,000 or something, so.
Per 1,000.
Per 1,000 for, so that's only 7.
Put
But,
that onto an exhibit.
yeah.
Because you can imagine if someone, let's say Matt decides to move to a bigger facility. Someone comes in and says, well, you gave it to the last guy, and their use is like 100 spots.
Yeah.
And it's not a walkable environment or walkable type of business or a cross-pollination type of, situation. You know, we're gonna have 300 people in this room against it.
yeah.
We're gonna have
And-
a precedent that might hurt us, so.
Yeah, I know, looking at the report too, I was just picking it out that they talked about the number of spots in Oakmont South and Oakmont, and basically 25% were occupied in Oakmont South and 44 in Oakmont, which left like 51 available. Now, you know,
Yeah,
again,
well,
I don't know what
Al's a
time of day it
traffic
was or
expert.
anything.
Jonathan,
but-
we love, but he's not a traffic expert.
I know, and-
We hear his observations.
And we may
But you-
try to confirm that too. Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
there was a comment made earlier in the testimony, I don't recall who said it, and it doesn't really matter, but that there was a
All right.
mention that if it was a restaurant or a bar, that they would not have to come here, and I just wanted to correct the record. Is that the
That
case?
is not correct.
Right, so we would be hearing any case, and we hear many cases, whether it's, you know, the joke is always, it's a nail salon going to a pizza parlor, or a pizza parlor going to a nail salon around here, and they still come here, and we hear them.
The use would be permitted.
Right,
The
correct.
issue would be the parking requirement.
It might be a more intense parking. If it was a restaurant, it would
Oh, it'd be
certainly
more
be,
intense.
it's not going to be 1 per 1,000, so, yeah. I just wanted to put that on the record. Thank you.
All right, then, with that, all that being said, this case is continued
Thank
to
you.
our November 6th hearing. Now, I would ask the board, are you guys ready to roll right into decision? Jess? Ed?
Yes.
Billy?
Yes.
And Jess?
Yes.
All right. Well, we have 2 cases that we need to make decisions on tonight. The other 2 have been continued to our November 6th. So the first would be case Z2535, John Killen Jr., owner of 38 Fulmer, Havertown, PA, DC parcel number 2202-003450. And I won't read the rest of the description into the record unless somebody else specifically requests that I do so. Jesse,
It's me.
Yes.
you want to do that decision?
Chairman, with regards to case
Hey,
Z25-35,
Jess, before we do that, just procedurally, I'm sorry, I messed up. Are you prepared to,
I am
Bill,
prepared.
are you prepared?
Yes.
Ed, are you prepared?
Sam.
Jess,
I am.
and so am I. Now, Jesse, would you please take that decision?
Mr. Chairman, with regards to case Z25-35, I would vote to approve the requested relief in accordance with the notes of testimony.
Okay. Bill?
I agree.
Ed?
I agree.
Jessica?
Agree?
And so do I. That application's approved. 5-0. Good luck. The other is case Z25-36, Patrick Brenner, owner of 1126 Garfield Avenue, Havertown, PA, DC folio number 2201004350, to seek a variance from section 18228C to F1 to permit a 6-foot side yard where 12 foot is required for the construction of a new deck, property zone R6 and located in the first ward. Jess, are you prepared?
I am.
Ed?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Jesse? Yes. All right, Jess, would you please take that one?
Yes, I would make a motion to approve the application with the following conditions. The deck will not be enclosed. There will be no storage below the deck. The only utility will be electrical, and work will be completed within 1 year and in accordance with the notes of testimony.
Okay. Ed?
Concur.
Bill?
I agree.
Jesse? And so do I. Wow, 2 unanimous decisions. That case is approved 5-0. You're welcome. Good luck. We have anything?
We do have minutes. Let me just double check the dates.
Caught up. Got a lot of them.
All right. No minutes.
No, we have minutes. We have a lot of minutes.
Good night. You're welcome.
I just need to write down the dates. Sorry. That's okay.
No worries. What the fuck is he?
Oh, something Haverford.
Okay. So we received minutes from our June 26th meeting, July 3rd meeting, August 21st meeting, and September 4th meeting. They were reviewed and there were no comments, so I would make a motion to approve the minutes.
I second that motion.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. Anything else? Any other administrative matters? We're all good? Then we are adjourned.